Right now, right now. 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 Oh, I got a real good feeling.
We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always happens, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we've got a very, very exciting piece for you because for the first time in about 2.5 weeks, we get to change our opinion on the market. You heard it here first, folks. I am so excited whenever I see that I get to change my stance on the market. And today, we are now bulls on Bitcoin. You might think, well, yeah, but wait a minute, the movement already happened. Nonsense. It's just getting started. We're going to talk today about the rally that Bitcoin has witnessed over the last 24 hours and why this rally was a rally that we talked about was very much a possibility. I showed you how you could trade this rally. Hopefully you've watched the streams in the last 2 weeks because you would have seen that this was a possibility and hopefully would have been prepared for it. And today, we're going to talk about what this means for Bitcoin because this is really big. The fact that Bitcoin is trading at $45,000 means that we've broken above the downtrending level of resistance that constituted the symmetrical triangle pattern that we were in. And by the way, I'm going to keep a close eye on chat because we're running a test with our internet. I've got a solution if we start lagging, but I'm running a test. But anyway, we have broken the downtrend that constituted the symmetrical triangle pattern that we were in. We have also broken above 44.3 to 44.7, which was a very, very important level of resistance just above Bitcoin. And most importantly, we have a buy signal on Lux Algo. Could not be better, the technical landscape right now on Bitcoin. So we are going to be jumping into all of that content today. So very excited for where we are right now, and I can't wait to get started. So let's go ahead and read some chat. We got Crypto Nebs in chat, RJ, Joe Bolier, Bob Riley, Brandon Sandoval, Tristan, Philly Skills 1428 said, good morning, my guy, Jeb. Good morning. How you feeling? Crypto Nebs is in chat. Crypto Surge. Anthony Medrano, I'm not sure. Don't Touch is in chat. Stacy Rumsey, the French Toast Breakfast Club. Danton Satchet's in chat. Rocket Metal News. Schmedley B's in chat. Marley 120 Thirst. Justin Vale. I got to remember how to pronounce your name. Or you'll have to tell me. Good morning from PH. Is that from Philadelphia? From the Philippines? From where is PH? What's PH? We got Richard Jacobson, AG201, Jack Brennan, it looks like, Alex Nybo, Vintage Excellence, Gary Peck, let me get that right. Gary Peck is in chat. Jeff Woodrow is in chat. Crypto Mini Bike is in chat. Sweet Benabear, The Dusty Hunt, Dr. Crypto, AE, is a good day to be alive. Valerie Valenzuela is in chat. Alex Kaimana, Sean Regenton, good morning to all of you. Hope you're well. We've got a lot to cover today, so make sure to smash that like buttons. From the Philippines. Yes, well, shout out to the Philippines. We've got a big crowd over in the Philippines. Always wanted to visit the Philippines. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful country. Good evening from Bangkok. Wow. Right around the world. Wesley Peterson is in chat. New to the streams. Huge fan already. Well, welcome to the stream if you guys are new here. If you are new here, make sure to hit that like button. Let's see if we can't get to over 100 likes before we get started. Thank you so very much for everyone who is tuned in, and let's go ahead and jump straight on over to CoinMarketCap because we have some very exciting news to talk about here in crypto. As you guys know, I have had 3 major stances on Bitcoin over the course of the last 4 months. If we look at the Bitcoin chart, I'll show you what they were. Pretty much the entire time that we started rallying above roughly $28,000, we were looking at $35,000 to $40,000. That was a prediction that we stood on for about 3 months. It ended up coming to pass. In March of last year, we created this chart, which you can find a video for over on the channel. It's got about 50,000 views. It's called How a Clock Will Send Bitcoin to $50,000. Bitcoin ended up going to $50,000 largely because of that clock. Little did we know when we made that video that BlackRock was about to launch their very own ETF application that would later be approved. And in that video, there was posted right back over here in, I believe it was March, might have been early April, but I think it was March. Is before our daughter was born. She was born in April, so it would have been March more than likely. We made this box and said, this is where Bitcoin is going to hit by year's end. You can see that we traded straight through that. So that was our prediction ever since we had this buy signal out on the weekly chart on Lux Algo, broke above $30,000. We were predicting that Bitcoin was going to go to between 35 and 50, more likely well above 40. That's where Bitcoin went. Then about 3 weeks ago, we changed our stance because the day that the exchange traded funds launched, well, actually the day that they started trading, Bitcoin had a blow off top. Bitcoin rallied up to $49,000, and on the very same day, we became bears on Bitcoin and we started looking for corrections. Even before Bitcoin fell below this uptrending level of support that is absolutely vital on Bitcoin's been in play for over a year now. Even before we fell below that level, we became bears on Thursday, January the 11th, because we saw this blow off top and this drop, and we started predicting different levels. Pretty much right away, we came out with 3 different levels that we were going to look for on Bitcoin. And I'm telling you guys this partially for the sake of accountability, but I'm also telling you guys this so that you see where we've come from, so that we can use that to figure out where we're going to go. The 3 levels that we discussed that Bitcoin would likely fall back down towards were the 0.382 Fibonacci retracement level down to $38,000. That is the level that we ended up hitting. We did hit the first of our 3 targets. The second level was the 0.5 level down at 35, and the third level was down at 0.618 at $32,500. Originally, I came out and said it's going to go all the way to $32,500. Few days later, I was like, that might be a little aggressive. I think we're going to go to 35. And then I once again backtracked and said, you know what? I actually think we're probably going to go to 38. And then there's a pretty decent chance that we could go to 35. But we had confirmed a downtrend here, so we have to look at the downtrends. But over the last week, I've been super excited to bring you guys content on the fact that Bitcoin has been in this symmetrical triangle pattern right here. And I know this chart's a little messy, but hopefully you can see the symmetrical triangle pattern forming right here. And we talked about how in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, which you can find linked in the description box down below, we have been teaching students for over 5 years the power of symmetrical triangle patterns and wedges and pennants, which is what this is. It is a symmetrical triangle pattern and a pennant. Down here in CT2A, you will find this video called Wedges and Pennants. This video has been teaching people for years about how to use symmetrical triangle patterns. I remember making that video. It was one of my favorite videos to make in CT2A, and it's just as relevant today as it was when it was made, because technical analysis doesn't change. The charts do, but the analysis stays the same. There's a 70% likelihood that Bitcoin will break bullish out of a symmetrical triangle pattern that moved into with bullishness. At the same time, we were seeing that Bitcoin was painting this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we saw that there was a price target on this inverse head and shoulders pattern pointing up towards $49,000. So as I've said many times, I was a bear until we broke above 44.3 to 44.7, and we got a buy signal on Lux Algo, because that's what it would take to convince me that this downtrend is over. However, we did have some very bullish factors, such as this symmetrical triangle pattern and the inverse head and shoulders pattern, to point to the fact that the correction may be over. So for the last week, we have been taking the stance of how do we be prepared for both outcomes, because we are technically still supposed to be bears, but we've got these reasons to believe that Bitcoin's going to break to the upside. And so one of the first things that I told you guys in the last couple of days is that Bitcoin is going to see a breakout on this symmetrical triangle pattern. It's going to be a large breakout, and it's going to be a trading opportunity. So I gave you the option that you could trade the breakout here. If we broke through this, there's a buy signal. You could put in an exit right here below 44.3 or so. And then after we broke above 44.3 to 44.7, you could enter once again, which is where we are right now, and right up to the next level of resistance, which is $48,000. Hopefully you guys have been watching the stream and you got those tips that if Bitcoin broke out in the bullish direction, you would have been prepared for that. But we also talked about some of the things you could do if Bitcoin dropped. And in case this ends up being a lower high as well, and in case we end up having to become bears once again, then those are still in play. If Bitcoin and cryptocurrency does start to go through a large protracted drop once again, then that is where we're going to want to look for more dollar cost averaging opportunities. We're going to want to look for more investment opportunities, and maybe even make a lump sum investment. If you guys did not watch yesterday's video, then I would encourage you to go back and watch yesterday's video, because I laid out for you exactly how to take a mess of personal finances and build a system where you can invest in the cryptocurrency market profitably. If you've not already watched it, how to invest in crypto to make millions in 2024. Go watch this. I think you will be blessed for having seen it, but you guys can be the judge of that. So let's talk about where Bitcoin is going, because we have seen a large breakout and we really want to dive into what this means for crypto, because we do now have, in essence, a shift in our own sentiment. So to be clear, let's go and find a clean chart here, which is a little bit hard to find in my trading view, but let's go and find a clean chart here, and let's just kind of draw out what we had for our stances. We pretty much have done something like, let's see, where's my Elliott waves? That's what I'm going to use. I'm not actually using Elliott waves here. I'm just using this to kind of show you our predictions. Yeah, so let's do this right about here. So on this, you can see that for this duration, right through about here, we've been bullish on the market. For about this duration, we've been bearish on the market. And today, we're turning bullish on the market. As you can see, our trend direction changes and lags a little bit because we want confirmation. I'm on the wrong screen, sorry. We want confirmation. We want to make sure that before we change our tune, we actually have some confirmation. It's the same way that when you have an indicator, it doesn't necessarily just flip at the bottom. The chart flips at the bottom, but you want to actually wait a little bit to have the confirmation so you don't get in too early. This has essentially been when we've been bullish, bearish, and now I am switching over to the bulls camp because we have that confirmation. But why? Why am I switching over to the bulls camp, and what confirmations do they have? Well, as I said, there are a few different critical levels that Bitcoin has broken in just the last 24 hours, and one of them is a level between about 44.3 to 44.7. That level is now drawn on your chart and is represented by these local highs that we set back in December of 2023. We set a local high at 44.7, which was the yearly high, and then we came and tested again the resistance, but that time we only went to about 44.3. That created a zone of resistance that looks a little something like this, and so Bitcoin needed to break through that, in my opinion, to start going into the bullish direction. Why through that level? Well, simply put, it's a level that was at the right spot where if we broke above that, we were through most of the VRVP resistance. If we look at visible range volume profile, you can see breaking through that zone indicated that we were through the vast majority of the resistance, and therefore we've probably cleared out the order books that we need to clear out. Now, since Bitcoin has broken above that zone, it gets to use all of this entire bulwark of support, as you guessed it, support. And if Bitcoin does need to go through, or if Bitcoin does try to go through a rally, it's already broken through much of the resistance, and the resistance here on VRVP is much lighter. In other words, when you translate that to what the order books are going to look for, you're more than likely going to see quite a lot more buy orders than sell orders, and that over time will push the price of Bitcoin northward. But there was one more confirmation that I wanted to see if Bitcoin was actually going into an uptrend, and I'm really excited that Lux Algo is coming in clutch right now because we are launching our very own indicator in collaboration with Lux Algo next week. I cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on this indicator that is coming. I am so hyped up for it. Can't wait for you guys to see it, and it's really exciting to me that Lux Algo has something important to tell you guys today. As you can see, the mainline indicator, Lux Algo Premium, the flagship indicator, was not bullish until today either. And it just so happens that that's when we started being bullish. We started being bearish right here when it turned bearish, and we started being bullish right here when Lux Algo turned bullish. I came to that conclusion on many other technical indicators than just Lux Algo, but it is kind of cool that Lux Algo agreed with our sentiment. During this entire run-up, Lux Algo was bullish the entire time, just like us. When we saw Lux Algo flip red and we saw the trend catcher confirmation, that's when Lux Algo turned bearish at the same time. And I didn't just make that decision to be in that stance because of Lux Algo. It just ended up working out that way. And then Lux Algo also flipped bullish right here. We got trend catcher confirmation on green candle body. Boom. That's a confirmed buy signal, my friends. Confirmed buy signals very often will actually lead the market to their price target. If you guys are enjoying today's stream, make sure to hit that like button because this is an exciting one. The price target on this buy signal for Lux Algo right now, its middle point is sitting up here at $48,600. From where Bitcoin is right now, that would be a $3,700 movement and essentially back to a bull market high. If Bitcoin does rally back up to that bull market high, I'm inclined to believe that we're going to have an easier time testing it. Why? Well, we had to rally more or less all the way from $25,000 to get to $49,000 the first time. We have just gone through a 20% corrective movement, which is bog standard for this bull market. We've seen three. One right here, 20. This correction was 21%, lasted 60 days. This correction was much quicker in time. It only lasted about 14 days, but it was as deep. It was a 21% corrective movement. And there is, of course, always the possibility that Bitcoin rallies up here, sets a higher high, drops back down to those lower low price targets that we're talking about. We shouldn't forget about them. We shouldn't forget about 38, 35, and 32,500. Those are levels that Bitcoin could still go back and test. But for the moment, Bitcoin appears to be in very good shape, and the altcoins are backing that up. It's a little bit like this. If you are in some kind of crowd and a bunch of people start going in one direction, then the whole crowd's moving that direction. It's kind of hard to go backwards. That's a little bit of what's going on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency right now. Because if we go and jump on over to CoinMarketCap, Bitcoin is up 5% in the last 24 hours. But it's not just Bitcoin. The crowd is moving. Ethereum is up 3.47%. Binance is up 5.13%. Solana up 9.34%, back up to 104. Cardano up 10%. Told you guys not to write it off. Cardano sitting at 53 cents. Loving it. Avalanche up 4.43%. Dogecoin's up slightly. Polygon's up. Chainlink's up. Bitcoin Cash, funnily enough, is actually up a little bit. Sheeb has gone through a rally. ICP's gone through a small rally. Let's see. Cosmos up 2.7%, up 5% on the last 7 days. Celestia up 13.31% in the last 24 hours. Very excited to see that. Very excited to see my altcoin portfolio. Need to look at that. Caspa's going off. It's up to nearly 13 cents. Still need to get some of that. I'm really excited about Caspa. Stacks is up 18%. A lot of great protocols, a lot of great projects that are doing very well. And the reason I mention all of those is not just because, well, they're great investments, but also because whenever Bitcoin goes on a run, then typically you're going to see the altcoin space go on the run as well, and that kind of backs up Bitcoin's momentum. If it were just Bitcoin running and the altcoins weren't moving, then what you can kind of see happen is that Bitcoin could slow down and it doesn't really have any momentum to keep it going. But if Bitcoin slows down right now and the altcoins are still going, then that gives momentum. It gives a place for the bullish momentum for Bitcoin to go. So it means that if Bitcoin slows down, it doesn't mean that the whole market has lost momentum. It means that the momentum has simply shifted from Bitcoin to the altcoins. And so that gives the overall market the ability to run. That's why the altcoin engine is an important concept that I've taught you guys about before. When Bitcoin goes into a run, it oftentimes will eat up the market dominance. It'll eat up the attention. Right now, everybody's talking about Bitcoin, including yours truly. That being said, in a little while, Bitcoin might take a breather. It might slow down a little bit. And then what you're going to see happen is you'll see the altcoins go on a major run. And they'll go back and forth and back and forth. Like an engine with two pistons, they're going back and forth and back and forth. And when one's up, the other one's down. When one's up, the other one's down. When one's down, the other one's up, etc. And so you have this cyclical nature of markets, just about in everything. In markets, you go from bullish to bearish. In markets, you go from low volatility to high volatility. In the crypto markets, you go from the big caps, Bitcoin and ETH leading, to the altcoins leading, etc. You end up seeing this cyclical nature where you see the market go from one stance to another and back to one stance and back to another. And right now we're seeing Bitcoin and the alts run, but eventually one of them is probably going to slow down and the other one's going to take off. The good news about where we are right now is that if Bitcoin is able to sustain this rally, which is rallying even as we speak, it's up a few $100 since we started the stream. If Bitcoin is able to sustain this movement and continue rallying here and get some momentum under it, then this very well may be a rally that will take us all the way into halving season. According to CoinMarketCap, we're looking at 65 days until the halving. Depending on who calculates it, it can be a little bit different. But the point is, we are extremely bullish right now. And I hope you can see why I said, look, I will be bullish when I'm proven bullish. We had the buy signal come in, trend catcher is green. We have ourselves breaking above 44.3 to 44.7. If you will see here, we obviously use that as a zone of resistance. Clearly, our technical analysis worked on that. As soon as we broke above 44.7, I hope you can see this on this chart, because a lot of people gave me flack, said, Jab, why aren't you bullish yet? Of course, I thought that Bitcoin had a strong opportunity of going bullish, but I'm going to wait until I have confirmation to tell you guys that that's what it's going to do. I said as soon as we break above 44.7 and as soon as we see the buy signal on Lux Algo, I'm flipping bullish. And as soon as those two things come in, literally within the same hour, Bitcoin starts a run where it rallies $700 in 2 hours. As soon as those two confirmations that we talked about come in, Bitcoin rallies $700 in 2 hours. That's where we are right now. And so that's why we need to be careful with technical analysis, because as far as be careful with our predictions. Because if we had not done that, we didn't have confirmation yesterday or the day before that Bitcoin was about to go into a rally. Now we do. We had confirmation that Bitcoin was trading sideways, but Bitcoin also could have just been setting a higher high, plateauing, and being ready to fall over. Now we have a lot more confirmation that the bulls are really in charge. And if we look at the volume, which is not up on my screen right now. What in the world? Where did that go? Why is my volume not up? Okay, well, here we go. If we look at the volume, you can see the volume has picked up dramatically over the course of the last 24 to 48 hours. Volume has massively picked up. Just about on every market you look at, you're going to see higher volume over the last 24 hours. You can see here on Bitstamp, same deal. Over here on Bitfinex, same deal. Over here on Coinbase, same deal. A lot of volume coming in, right? A lot of volume, a lot of volatility. What that means is that there's thick order books, but the order books are still thick enough. Excuse me, the market is still bullish enough that Bitcoin is still rallying despite the order books being so thick. And that means also that Bitcoin has support that's being built. If we were able to see the order books right now, you would see a large wall right here of buy orders. If Bitcoin were to fall, it would fall right into that large wall of buy orders. And so I'm very excited that our technical analysis seems to be working. I'm very excited that we have seen this rally, and I'm very excited that the confirmations that I laid out for you did seem to be the confirmations that we need to look for, because now that we've seen those come into play, I can confidently tell you that I'm a bull again on Bitcoin. And that might last for 3 days. Bitcoin might rally to 47, fall over, and have to go back down. We might not be going past 49K yet. We still need confirmation for that, but we can definitely be sure right now that the bulls are the ones that are in charge, at least in this very moment. That can change at any time, but right now, that is what we are looking at. It'll be on 420, so we can all laugh like stoners. Yes, it is funny, because I think there is actually a decent chance that the halving could be on 420. Let's see. Halving clock is one that I really like. It says April 17th, 2024 right now, 69 days. CoinMarketCap is saying 65 days right now. So you can see here they're predicting earlier April. But the point is, we're seeing the halving come in, and Bitcoin will likely be going through a huge rally because of that. That rally may be happening before the halving. It may be happening after the halving, but somewhere within 2 months of the halving, I think you're going to see an absolutely gargantuan rally take place. When is the halving supposed to begin? Right now, many people are predicting about April 17th, about April 11th, April 12th to April 17th, somewhere in there. Alabaster Smidge said, "We believe in you, Jeb." Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. Very excited also to see how our portfolio is doing. I need to go and calculate everything, but many of the altcoins are doing very, very well right now. Our portfolio is up quite a bit. In fact, we're up a lot on some of our projects like Chainlink and Solana, and a lot of these picks that we've been picking, we're really excited about. Chainlink and Solana really coming out ahead. So those are two that have performed very well, up quite a bit on those. So if you guys have not started dollar cost averaging, it's not too late. And this is where I want you guys, 69 days until 420. What? Yes, that's those are two numbers that are floating around. Now, 420 is not actually a prediction. 417 is the prediction, but yeah, no. Close enough for the joke. Alabaster Smidge said exciting times. Absolutely, guys. Let's see. Let's read some chat. Shane Sullivan said bullish. 80K plus by the halving. I think 80K before the halving would be a little bit aggressive, but yes, I do think we'll see a significant amount of bullishness. Now, if you guys have not already, I want you to learn about technical analysis, because I want you to be able to tell where the market's going. I want you to be able to prepare yourself, because the purpose of technical analysis is not necessarily to just be able to make predictions right 100% of the time. Okay, that is nice when you can make a prediction and it happens. What's more important, and this is the wisdom of this, what's more important about technical analysis is being able to understand how each scenario, because there's always a bullish and a bearish scenario, what's more important about technical analysis is being able to understand how each scenario would play out, how it would interact with different levels, how strong the bulls and the bears are, and how you can apply those lessons to making trades and investments that are profitable. And of course, it's an interesting thing. It's a hobby for many people, including myself, that it's fun to look at charts. But most importantly, I want you guys to be able to make profitable trades and investments, and that's why we do technical analysis every single day here on Coffee and Crypto. That is the lifeblood, that is the core of what we do, is technical analysis. And because that's the core of what we do, we've gained a considerable amount of expertise in it. And that's why we've been teaching here in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy for the better part of a decade now. We launched CT2A in August? In August of 2018. So it's been a very long time now. About 5.5 years since we launched CT2A, and it has been teaching people how to do analysis on cryptocurrency markets ever since. If you guys have not signed up for the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, join the thousands of other students who have gone before you and have signed up and are learning every single day about how to do technical analysis on the markets. We need to be able to gauge the strength of support and resistance to know whether they're going to break or not. We need to know what golden and death crosses are so that we know what they're telling us. We need to understand intuition so that we can understand how important our instinct is, how to train that. We need to be able to understand market structure so that we know the way that the market works and the way that it moves itself. We need to be able to understand dollar cost averaging and what the difference between trading and investing is. VRVP, visible range volume profile, as we just talked about. All of these different technical indicators and chart formations and all these lessons that we're going to give you are so important to your success in cryptocurrency. So make sure to check out the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy with the link in the description box down below, because I firmly believe that the greatest and best investment that you will ever make is an investment in yourself, because you are the one that is making the trades and the investments. So if you invest in the investor, then the investments will prosper. All right. Jeb, concerning the 0.618 retrace from all-time high to ETF low, from ETF high to ETF low. Aha, I think I see what you're saying. Yes, so are you talking about like an inverse Fibonacci? Let's see, let's go to a clean chart here. One of my favorite things to do. Inverse Fib right here. I suppose I'm going to guess that this is what you're talking about. So inverse Fibonacci is important because it is a form of Fibonacci retracement. As you can see, Bitcoin has retraced from $49,000 down to $38,600, about a $10,000 drop. If you draw Fibonacci on the inverse, which again, this is something else that we teach in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy right over here. We talk about Fibonacci. We have a video on Fibonacci. So if you have not already, make sure to sign up for CT2A and you will find our video right there on Fibonacci retracement. There is regular Fibonacci retracement and there is inverse Fibonacci retracement. Inverse Fibonacci retracement is drawing the start from the top and bringing the bottom to the low because it's measuring the correction back to the prior high. And that does give us a golden pocket as well, which sits right here between $44,700 and about $45,000 right now. So yes, Bitcoin is being caught in that. The good news is that lines up very closely with the support zone that we were in, 44.3 to 44.7, and we've already technically broken above it. Now, I'd like to see a few more hours of trading up here. I really want to see Bitcoin continue moving to the upside here and breaking well above 45.5 and pushing up towards 46. Our next major level of resistance is $46,000. That's a level that we set over here as a local high, as you can see right there. There are a bunch of different levels that are in play right now. 46.5, of course, is the 0.786 on the Fibonacci. All of these are the different levels that we need to keep in mind, and these are the levels that Bitcoin is likely to get caught. Kind of think about the levels as like stoplights. If you're driving through town, it's unlikely that you're just going to stop in the middle of the road for no reason. If you're going to stop, you're probably going to stop because there's a pedestrian or somebody ran out in front of a car, or you're going to stop because there's stoplights. So think about these different levels as the intersections. These are the areas that you're likely to take a stop. It doesn't necessarily mean that you will. It could be a green light, but you also may stop at these levels because it's a red light. And you might get turned around. But generally speaking, when you're in an uptrend, you're probably going to get to go through it eventually. You just got to wait for the green light. So we're seeing that there's a red light on the corner of 13th and 6th, right? Or there's a red light on the corner of Wall Street and Main. I don't know. Whatever. There's a red light, green light, whatever, here on $45,900 to $46,000. Are we going to stop there? We'll see when we get there. We don't know. Same thing with 46.5. Are we going to stop there when we get there? We don't know. Now, of course, the analogy breaks down because what you need to understand is the strength of the bulls and the bears. But the good news is right now the bulls are very emboldened because we have a Lux Algo buy signal. And by the way, most of the traders, the vast majority, so many traders in the cryptocurrency space use Lux Algo that buy signal right there actually carries some weight with it. I told Sean this the other day. When I'm using this indicator, it is so powerful that I'm quite confident that it actually has the power to move markets now because there's so many people trading by it that what it says actually literally impacts the market. It's not just tracking the market anymore. I believe that Lux Algo is actually part of the thing that's making the market now because when people see a buy signal, I think enough of them go and buy that they have enough buy pressure between them to actually make the buy signal have some kind of prophetic effect on the market. So the fact that we've seen the buy signal and traders are taking that seriously, very significant. The fact that volume's coming in, very significant. Daily chart MACD and RSI looking absolutely fabulous. Looking out to the weekly chart, we were looking at a bearish cross. That bearish cross on MACD has now been averted, and RSI is breaking back up above 73. We will probably rally up to about $50,000 to $70,000 on this rally. It may take a few months, but Bitcoin is in exceedingly good shape right now, and I'm very excited to see where Bitcoin is going to go next. I am also very excited to see if we'll see a buy signal on Lux Algo monthly chart. We have not seen it yet. We've seen trend catcher turn green, but if we did see a buy signal out here on the monthly chart, in my book, that would be a confirmation that Bitcoin is going all the way back to all-time high. I do also want to mention briefly Solana. Solana has a buy signal that's been on its chart for a while, but we don't have trend catcher confirmation yet on monthly. But down here on the daily chart, Solana has recovered quite nicely from its outage, and we've seen a buy signal come in. Solana is just about to be able to break above some resistance around $104. If Solana can break above $104, we have a buy signal on 4-hourly chart that's pointing at 112 in the middle. We also have a buy signal on daily chart that is pointing at 117 in the middle and pointing back to a yearly high of 123. So a large rally on Solana is likely to be coming very soon. The community seems to have shrugged off the drop from the they seem to have shrugged off the drop from the outage. And Lux Algo has, not Lux Algo. Solana has even broken bullish above this downtrending level of resistance. So as much as I hate the outage and as much as I do need trust to be rebuilt with that, Solana is one of my largest altcoin positions. And I am very excited about that. And I'm glad that it is rallying. So as much as I hate the fact that a that a cryptocurrency in a blockchain would go down like that. I am very excited that we are seeing a rally going on right now. Max Hill Anti-Mage said, will Bitcoin have final correction, Jeb? I believe that Bitcoin is going to have to really prove itself to get back above 49. I am going to be much more confident that we're going to all-time high after we break above 49. Right now, I'm confident that Bitcoin is bullish. I'll be much more confident that Bitcoin is going to all-time high after we break above 49. Breaking above 49 will likely send us almost straight to all-time high very, very, very quickly, but until we get to that point, then I am simply bullish in the short term, and we're going to have to see where Bitcoin goes from now. Solana looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern on the daily. Yes, it does, actually, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because this line that I talked about here, that Solana's about to break at 104, 105, is actually the shoulder line regular chart. It points more conservatively, but it does still point pretty high. Let's see. Got to undo a lot of this. Let's grab my measuring stick right here. It does point at 133, which would be a new high, and that would also be a return to the 0.5 level on linear chart for retracement. So Solana is looking quite bullish from a technical analysis standpoint right now. Everything from MACD, RSI, Lux Algo, VRVP, just market structure in general, looking very healthy on those fronts. And one thing to mention also is that Bitcoin is getting very close to this uptrending level of resistance right here and 46. So if Bitcoin does rally up to about $46,000, there is convergent support here. If you've gone through CT2A, then there is a video on the convergence of support and resistance. It's right there, the convergence of support and resistance, the convergence of short and long-term trends. Those are very important videos. And this is convergent resistance right here. So we shall see how Bitcoin plays out about that. But right now, I'm expecting I expect that Bitcoin is going to be having some trouble at 46, but then hopefully we'll be able to break through very nicely. Let's see. Prod by SHR. It doesn't show your whole name, but you just donated 247. Is CZK Czech? Let's see. What currency is that? Is that Czech? It is the Czech. Is it pronounced kroner in Spanish? I think it's pronounced in Spanish. In Czech, I think it's the Czech kroner. I'm not sure if it's pronounced kroner. You'll have to tell me if it's pronounced kroner. But anyway, I really appreciate that. That equates to about $10.50. Thank you so much for your donation. That is very, very much. Yeah, it's Czech. I recognize the CZK, I think, but I'm not sure. Is it pronounced Czech? I know Czech, but is it pronounced kroner, or is that? I'm not sure. You'll have to tell me. But yes, thank you so much. And you said Kaspa. And yes, I'm very excited about Kaspa. Kaspa's been doing very, very, very well. Up 28.75% in the last 7 days. Absolutely blowing up. And I do think it's going into the top 15. Kaspa is going to go crazy. Yes, it is. Haha. I said it correctly. Yay. Vintage excellence. Oh my goodness. Please don't share your passwords, guys, in chat. Queen said, hi, Sarah, if you're here. Let's see. Anthony Roybal said, top of the morning to you, Jeb. Top of the morning to ya. How you doing? Shadrack Frost in chat said, good morning to the best YouTube crypto family on the internet. Hashtag hodl. We do have an excellent family here. Thank you guys so much for all of your continued support. You guys have been awesome throughout the years. It's crazy to say. We've been doing this for almost 6 years. 6 years coming up. I'm sorry, wait a minute. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. 6 years. Yes, we've been doing the channel for almost 6. Yes, we've been going for over 6 years, which means wow, that means I'm coming up on my 7th year? Do I have that right? Wow. Gee whiz, man. I bet I'm old. Golly, I'm getting old. Goodness gracious. DJ Morales is in chat, said hi. Hi, Jeb. Hello. Hi there. Good to see you. My wife and I are coming up on being married for 2 years here next month. Not next week, next month. Which is awesome. Queen said, Jeb, love your Toyota videos. Well, thank you. I love our little Camry. It's awesome. Thing is great. It's a sport mode, so it's got the paddle shifters. So much fun. So much fun. Don't want to put all my money into vehicles. I'd rather put my money into investments. Because a lot of people, when I bought the Camry, they're like, Jeb, can't you buy a Lambo? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess I could, but why? I mean, it's just going to depreciate. That's a stupid way to spend money. Because we're very successful, but I mean, I'm not a billionaire or anything, you know, like it's not, it's a Lamborghini is, yeah, I mean, I could have afforded one, but why? You know, I'm not buying a car to flex. I'm buying a car to drive. I tell you what, that Camry's awesome. We've done some trips in that, man. We have done some trips in that. All right, we're going to read chat here for the last couple of minutes, and then we're going to wrap it out. Really appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. And I also want to let you guys know that the channel is doing really well from subscribership standpoint. We are getting close to hitting 230,000 subscribers, which is absolutely nuts. I would love to go to 500,000. I would love to go to $500,000, 500,000, not $500,000, 500,000 subscribers here in this bull market. And I think it's possible. I think it's possible with your help. So let's read some chat, and then we'll wrap it out. If anybody has any questions or anything that you would like for me to cover, then feel free to ask. Let's see. Today's Bible verse is Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So guys, whenever you are trying to be successful in the cryptocurrency space, I want you to remember that verse, because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, which means if you're a Christian, and if you're not, I hope you will, but certainly go and read the word, because that's where you'll learn that reverential awe of God, because he has knowledge. And also, don't despise wisdom and instruction. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Don't despise wisdom and instruction. Seek after it. When somebody tries to teach you, don't turn up your nose and go, I know better than you. I don't need to hear this. I'm so cool. No, you're going to regret that. I guarantee you, you will regret the hubris of turning up your nose at wisdom. So whenever people are teaching, whenever people are trying to teach you or give you something or share something with you or lay something on your heart, don't be like the fool who scoffs at wisdom. Instead, make sure that you are listening to wisdom and instruction, because the Bible makes it very clear that a fool hates knowledge and instruction. Kind of a supporting verse for that's in Proverbs 17:10. Let's see, I haven't quoted this in a long time. Let's see if I remember this verbatim. A reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. That's it. So you can sit there and just lash at somebody's back all day long, and if they're a fool, they won't get the idea. But a wise man, you reprove him one time, say, hey, knucklehead, do it this way. Stop doing it that way. Do it this way. A wise man will hear that, and they will change, and they will grow, and they will learn. So don't despise wisdom. Don't despise instruction. Instead, fear the Lord, because from his mouth come all knowledge and wisdom and understanding and discretion, and you will be so much better off. Be a sponge, absorb as much info as you can. Wisdom equals knowledge applied. That's right. And discretion equals understanding applied. Shadrach Frost said, Jeb, appreciate your wisdom, hard work, and faithfulness to God. You have helped me grow in so many ways spiritually as well. Well, I appreciate that, Shadrach Frost. I never intend to offend anybody, and I know some people don't like it when I talk about the word, but listen, I am I'm not so concerned about you not liking that I'm talking about the Bible. If anybody doesn't, I'm concerned about why. Like, who hurt you? Who hurt you? I'm serious, because there's a lot of Christians out there, myself included. I've made the mistake also. Of preaching the word or sharing the Bible in a way that took the Lord's name in vain and hurting people. Because let me just tell you, the Bible says that the words of the wise tendeth to health, but the words of a fool are like the piercings of a sword. And so if we're tearing people down in the church, is it any surprise that people wouldn't want to hear the Bible? If you're not a Christian, if you're an atheist, or if you're an agnostic, or if you're from some other religion and you're hearing me teach about the Bible and that hurts you, I want to know who hurt you. Who was bearing the name of God and they hurt you? Because God only knows I've done that myself. God only knows that I've been a hypocrite. God only knows that people could point their finger at me all day long and say, you're a fool. How dare you teach wisdom? Right? So I'm sorry if you've been hurt by the word of God. But I do just want you to know that it wasn't God's fault. Because God's perfect. He did not let you down. It was a human that did. And God will obviously lead us in certain directions that we don't think we need to go, in the same way that I'll lead my 3-year-old in directions that he doesn't think he needs to go, and he doesn't like it at the time. I'm not saying you're going to like everything that God does, but he will never let you down. He'll never forsake you. He always will love you. So if the word of God hurts you, and if it brings an offense to you when I mention it, I want to know who hurt you with it. Because the words of the wise tendeth to health, not to destruction. So feel free to let me know in chat or in person if you get in touch with me somehow. Because if somebody hurt you, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry that they did. That's not to say that people won't reprove you or correct you. But ultimately, what I want you to know most importantly is that Christ came and he died for you, and that he would have good things for you in this life, but most importantly in the next. But we've got to come to him. Prod by Shredded said, the problem is people can't respect other people who believe, so they feel better. I was a scoffer and a scorner once myself. And the Bible says, reprove not a scorner lest he hates you. Reprove not a scorner lest he hates you. Rebuke not a scorner lest he hates you. Reprove a wise man and he will love you. I haven't memorized that yet. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But that's in Proverbs 9, 6, and 7. So I just want you guys to know, if you're walking around and you're just constantly, yes, we should warn people to repent, but if you're walking around, if you're a Christian, you're walking around and saying, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, and you got the turn or burn gospel going on. Listen, we do need to let people know about the dangers of sin, and we do need to tell people that they need to repent. But more importantly, people need to, and that's important, but people need to know that Christ died for them and gave them a way out. We've got to share with them the hope, not necessarily just the condemnation. All right, because it's Satan who condemns. Queen was gifted a membership by Shadrach Frost. Vintage Excellence was gifted a membership by Shadrach Frost. Schmedley B was gifted a membership by Shadrach Frost. Shane Sullivan was gifted a membership by Shadrach Frost. And MS was gifted a membership by Shadrach Frost. Thank you so much, Shadrach Frost, for all of your incredible support. Thank you for being a moderator. Thank you for that donation. That was very, very kind of you. So thank you guys so much. And I'll leave you with this, and then I'm going to wrap it out. Before I came to know Christ, I said in my heart that the reason that I'm not a Christian is because I think I know better. I thought I knew better. I thought, well, I've done all this study. I've done all the I've read all the science. I want to go into astrophysics since I was in 6th grade. I know about the Big Bang and about evolution, about all this stuff. And you know what I realized is that Christ does not come to explain something to you just so you could turn your nose up at him. He wants you to believe on him and enter into a relationship with him, and then you're going to understand. In the same way that before you really understand how to have a marriage, you get married, and then you learn how to be married. You make the covenant first, and then you understand. I've learned so much about being married that I never would have learned before I got married, right? In Proverbs chapter 3, I'm memorizing Proverbs chapter 3 right now. It's the first half of the chapter is just a bunch of commandments and then promises. My son, forget not my law, let thine heart keep my commandments. For length of days and long life and peace shall it add unto you. You see the commandment, forget not my law, keep it in your heart. And here's the promise. Long life and length of days and peace shall it add to you. So we follow and obey the commandment. And in this case, we enter into a covenant with Christ because we're under grace, not under the law. But we enter into a covenant with him and we're saved by his blood. And then you will have the understanding that you're looking for. I guarantee you will. I put him first and you've got to give your life to him. I understand all the things that I had convictions or concerns or questions about before I became a Christian. I understand those things now, and I'll understand even better in the next life. But I'm so glad that I eventually got to the point where I didn't let my lack of understanding how this idea of God could possibly have created the universe stop me from believing. Because once I believed on him and gave my life to him, I said, look, God, I believe in you. I believe you're true, but I still don't understand any of this. Can you please explain it to me? I love you. Come to your Father on your knees in humility and say, God, I believe you. Explain it to me. Show me, and you will understand. So that's my promise to any of you guys that are on the fence about God. You've heard about the Lord. You've heard about Christ and how much he loves you, and he does. But you might be thinking to yourself, I just don't get it. I don't understand. How did God create the universe? How is an uncreated creator a thing? Who made God? You've got those questions. You'll get answers, but you got to believe and trust in him first because he cares more about that. He cares a whole lot more about your love for him and your relationship with him than you understanding how it all works. The book of Job is a great book to humble you if you want to pursue things. And listen, guys, it's worth it. It's worth it. Your inability to admit you were wrong is comical. Just admit it and move on. We're okay with the mistakes. Like I said, we're bearish and Bitcoin went bullish. Like I said, we stay in one trajectory, one stance until we're proven otherwise. So I was proven today that, no, we're not bearish anymore. We're bullish. So now we're bullish. Got nothing against updating my stance so long as I have proof. And now I have proof. So there we go. If you want to say that I was wrong, then fine. Yeah, I mean, I suppose we were predicting and saying, look, these are the three levels we could go to. 38K, 35K, and 32.5. Those are the levels we're looking at. We only went to 38. Cool. So now we just use all of that wisdom to make understanding for where we're going next. All right. Emmanuel Davila said, you deserve all the wealth, Jeb. You deserve this platform. I don't deserve anything, but I appreciate it. PL Hunt said, John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. Amen. I love it when you preach. You're good at it. Listen, guys, I'm a recovering fool, and I look back on my life, I'm like, man, I am such a freaking idiot, man. You know, you ever know that surely you understand what I'm talking about, where you just wish you could go back in time and just push, get it together, man. Not that I would ever do that to anybody else, but hopefully you know what I'm talking about. Like, come on, man, you're being stupid. Straighten up. Yeah. And not ever gonna do that to somebody else, but I don't like I believe when I was about 11 years old, God spoke the word wisdom over my life. And that doesn't mean that I'm better than you. That means that I'm probably more of a fool than you, and I've got a lot more learning to do than you might need to. I don't know. I want to learn to be wise, and I want to leave and forsake foolishness and simplicity. And I want to be a wise person that can teach you, that can teach myself and the people around me, because I love leading people to the Lord. I love people leading to the abundant life that Christ promises in his gospels. And that does not necessarily mean money, but it also does not exclude money. There are warnings about money the same way there's warnings about sex, the same way there's warnings about marriage, the same way there's warnings about any good blessing. But storing up wealth is not inherently an evil thing. And so I want you guys to be able to grow into that abundant life that Christ has for you. But as I said, growing into that abundant life that Christ has for you starts by serving him, fearing the Lord, and then you will gain wisdom. You will gain knowledge. You will gain understanding. You will gain discernment. You will leave behind simplicity and scorning and scoffing and simplicity and foolishness. You will leave these things behind, and you will move forward into the abundant life that Christ has for you. An abundant life, maybe not, but maybe of money, most certainly of richer relationships, and more importantly, a richer relationship with Christ Almighty himself, and with the Father that you will hopefully spend eternity with. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Any final questions about crypto? Because I love to talk about the Lord, but of course, we're here for crypto. So, any questions or anything you guys want to ask about cryptocurrency? Let's hear them, and then we'll wrap it out. Shadrach Frost said, hashtag invest in your education. Amen. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just working on this morning. Let's see. Happy is the man that getteth, happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. All the things thou canst desire should not be compared unto her, for her value is greater than rubies. That's wisdom. How do you get wisdom? Through education. Arturo de Jesus said, do you see altcoin rally coming soon? Great question. I do. I think the altcoins are going to do exceptionally well. I do believe that you're going to see a large altcoin rally starting very soon, with Bitcoin breaking well above $45,000. If we can get up to 46, we do need to see a little bit more momentum build. But if Bitcoin continues to build that momentum, then we shall most likely see a rally on alts, and we're already seeing that. Solana's up at 105. If Solana breaks 105, it's probably going to like 120. We haven't looked at the Binance chart today, but similar story on Binance. If Binance breaks above its current levels, it's likely to go in a large rally. Chainlink's doing very well. Polkadot's probably going to continue to run. ICP, I believe, is going to take off sometime soon. Just kind of needs that catalyst. The market's in good shape for that to happen, but we just kind of need to see that happen. Cosmos is up. I think you're going to see a continued movement. Absolutely. Absolutely. Time to invest in Ethereum. I think it's always a good time to invest in Ethereum. Ethereum is going to do very well this bull market. I believe it'll go to well over $10,000. Should we continue DCAing when the prices are getting higher and higher? Yes, you should, but not forever. Eventually, you're going to want to probably pull back on the dollar cost averaging. But for now, I think we're still going much higher than we are, so it's good to continue to accumulate. Are we really going to keep trending up with no correction? Bitcoin might be storing up for a larger correction in the future, but Bitcoin technically did have a correction. It wasn't the biggest correction, and we probably could see more. I'm not saying that Bitcoin's going to all-time high right now. I'm saying Bitcoin's going to 46. That's $500 above us. That's easy. From that point, if you look at the size of the market, the last year and a half of the market or so, yes, you probably will need to see more correction than we've seen, which is why we should not neglect and should not forget these different levels that we've spoken on that are below us. These 3 levels, the ones that people keep making fun of me for, like, oh, Jeb, we didn't go to those. Well, that's okay. They're still there. If we need to go to them, then they'll be there to support us. We've also got this uptrending level of support, which I kind of think will eventually backtest. So I don't think Bitcoin's done correcting permanently. I'm just saying that on the daily chart, Bitcoin has confirmed an uptrend, and we'll see how far that goes. I think that we will try and push back up towards 49, but we shall see if we're able to break above that as well. Gaming, the future of gaming, future of crypto. Jeb, enlighten people. Yes, I think gaming is going to be a huge sector this bull market. A lot of the games that are getting built in crypto are now really starting to look like AAA titles, and I think they're going to have a competitive edge. I do think you're going to see a huge movement in gaming this bull market. Absolutely. I would like to get a few more gaming picks. So if you guys have some good gaming picks that are relatively well established, because I like to make slightly more conservative investments than some of you guys do, but just for the sake of longevity. But if you guys have any picks, then I would love to know what they are. This retrace was pretty much always going to happen. It had to happen eventually. I think it happened at a good time. So yeah. All right, 25K ADA, 25,000 XRP. Good plan for this bull market. I think it's a good start. I would diversify more than that. MS Delta Brisket, I would recommend you watch the most recent video that just went up on the channel, because I talked about that exact concept right here, how to invest in crypto to make millions in 2024. In this video, I talk about the structure to invest in crypto, and I think the structure is really the one that you're going to want to look into, the area that you're going to want to look into a lot, so that you have the format that you need to be successful. Immutable X is a good one to look into, you say? I want to look more into Immutable. Thinking about getting some. Where is it? It's in like the top 30 right now, I think, right? 28. It's ranked number 28. Probably will look into Immutable. All right, guys, I am going to wrap it out. I hope you guys have had a great time. Let's see. Immutable X is going to be humongous. All right. Well, I hope you guys did enjoy today's stream. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to sign up for NordVPN down here. The reason you want to sign up for NordVPN is because you want to protect yourself while you are investing in the cryptocurrency space. Quite simply, if you sign up for NordVPN, you're going to be getting access to incredibly powerful security and VPN architecture that is going to keep you safe while browsing online. Many of you guys have thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Many of you guys have millions of dollars of investment in crypto. And the last thing you want is to get that hacked because you weren't willing to spend $200 for 2 years worth of NordVPN with the link in the description box down below. You will drastically reduce your chances of getting hit if you sign up for NordVPN. In the same way that I recommend everybody to have health insurance and car insurance, I also recommend you guys to put some kind of insurance on your crypto investment. And one of the best ways you can do that is investing in security. In the same way that if you got hit by a bus and you're handed a $750,000 paycheck, you're probably going bankrupt. Health insurance sucks, but is better than going bankrupt. You know, 58% of bankruptcies in America are tied to a health-related expense that did not have, when the individual did not have health insurance. That's a scary stat if you don't have health insurance, but it's kind of the same thing in crypto. If you've got this giant portfolio, it might seem like, oh, $200 for 2 years of NordVPN is a big expense. Yeah, you know what's a bigger expense? Losing $500,000 because you got hacked. You know what's a bigger expense? Losing $10,000 because you got hacked, right? So let's make wise decisions and let's deploy capital in the most advantageous place possible and put some money into NordVPN and protect ourselves while we're browsing online so that we stay safe as much as we possibly can and put the statistical advantage in our favor. So sign up for NordVPN with the link in the description box down below. You're going to get a discount. There's a 30-day money-back refund guarantee, and you are signing up for a product that millions of people have used for a decade, and they're very, very good at what they do. Tanya T asked a very great question. God doesn't let you down. Depends on what you mean by that. Do I ever try to let my son down? No. But sometimes I tell him, Malachi, we're not watching TV right now. And I know in my head, oh, we've watched too much television today, and it's making his brain hurt, and it's making it harder for him to regulate his emotions. He needs to get outside, and there's all these other things he needs to do. But right now, he's just tunnel vision on, I want to watch the rest of Blaze, right? So did I let him down in that moment? No. Does he feel like I let him down? Yes, he feels like I let him down because Daddy didn't let me sit there and binge watch television for 14 hours. But you know what would happen if I let him sit there and binge watch television for 14 hours? He'd have a headache. He'd be in terrible health. He'd He would have missed a great opportunity to learn something about the great outdoors. Now, the shows we let him watch are pretty educational, so that would have been great. But did he feel like I let him down? Yeah. Did I? No. I'm his father, and I know what's good for him. I'm better at telling him what is good for him than he is at telling himself what's good for him. Am I going to hand the keys to my car to a 3-year-old? No. He'd get himself killed. Would he think that's cool? Yeah, for about 5 minutes till he runs into a pole. Maybe about 5 seconds. Right? Am I going to let my son eat whatever he wants? No, because the kid would just eat salami and chocolate. That's a real example, right? That's not a diet. We've got to. So, am I letting him down in those moments? He doesn't like it. The Bible says, despise not the chastening of the Lord, for whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth. Proverbs 3:11. Even as a father the son in whom he delighteth in. The Father corrects us and guides us in ways that we don't necessarily like at times, but he knows better than us. You know why he knows better than us? Because he created us. You know why I know better than my 3-year-old, at least for now? And he's 30. He'll know better than I do for himself. But you know why I at least know better now than he does? Because he's young and because he's my son. The same thing with my daughter. So, NDA Game 21 is quoting the end of Job. I don't know exactly what you're quoting, but I'm assuming you're talking about the part where God is sending Job through all of creation and saying, do you understand the Leviathan? Do you understand the beast of the field? Do you understand these things? No? Okay, well, that's because I made them and I understand a lot better than you do, so don't question it. It's okay to ask questions, but, don't challenge my authority. And so, doesn't God let you down? Sometimes it feels like it. Sometimes it feels like it, like, God, why am I going through this? What? Like, when things happen with the team and I made some mistake, God, what the heck's going on here? When certain finance, God, what's going on here? When there's an argument, God, what's going on here? When something doesn't go my way, God, what's going on here? Do not despise the chastening of the Lord, for whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father in the son in whom he delighteth in. Forget where it is in the New Testament, but do not despise correction. Let's see. It's in Hebrews chapter 10, I think it is. No correction is pleasant at the time, but it produces a harvest of righteousness. So does God do things that I don't like sometimes? Sure. Does he know better than me? Yeah, he does. So there you go. That's my answer to that. That's why I'm careful. Some people are going to say, God will never let you down. It'll feel like he let you down sometimes. Yes, he won't ever let you down. But it'll feel like he does sometimes. But that's because we don't understand as much as he does. No bigger responsibility than being a parent. IMO, and no bigger purpose in life at Colin McDonald. Being a parent is awesome. One of the best things that's ever happened to me. The only two things better than being a parent are being a husband to my awesome, beautiful, amazing wife and being a Christian. Love my children so much. Love them so much. The Bible says a happy man has a quiver full of them. A bunch of them. Our society today looks down on children like they're, oh, look at that. It's just a new bill just walked in. No, it's a blessing. Have to drop from meeting. Thanks, Jeb. Love each other, folks. Absolutely, Shadrach Frost out. I'll wrap it out anyway. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, sign up for LuxAlgo, NordVPN, and CT2A down below. All three of them are investments that are going to bring returns if you actually use them. And while I can lead you to water, if you drink of those, then they are going to make you far more successful today and tomorrow and next week than you are right now. Just think about it like this. If you did what you do today for 40 years, where would you be? If you use LuxAlgo every day for 40 years, where would you be? You'd probably have made more better trades. If you studied technical analysis and used CT2A for that every day for 40 years, where would you be? You'd probably be an expert at technical analysis. So take the step today, do 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day doesn't sound like much. If you do 10 minutes a day for 40 years, you're going to spend hundreds and thousands of hours of doing it, and you're going to be very, very good at it. So make the investment today. Cover yourself with NordVPN. Use LuxAlgo as a technical indicator to plan your next moves and to see when trades are showing up and investment opportunities are showing up. And sign up for CT2A so you understand the markets. Do all those things. You'll be in a better place a year from now, a week from now, a month from now, 10 years from now than you are right now. We're going to wrap it out. Before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.